Hello and welcome to another Treehouse tutorial and another arithmetic one, and this one is on short multiplication, which begins in year 3 and takes us through to the end of Key Stage 2. So we begin here with 637 multiplied by 4, and a lot of you will be thinking, oh, here we go, he's meant to be making Key Stage 2 easy, but it looks like he's complicated things with colours. It's really important that we understand what we are doing. We are not just becoming a robot through our arithmetic, because we'll struggle then to apply our skills to reasoning. So we need to understand what we're doing. This is what we're aiming for, the compact short multiplication method. But actually, if we expand it a little bit like this, we get to see what it is we're doing, why we're doing it. Okay, so 637 multiplied by 4. And once we get into Key Stage 2, we're starting to realise that when it comes to vertical layout methods like this, we actually start to move the opposite way to the way that we write, for example. So we go from right to left. So we see here that we're going to begin by multiplying the 7 by the 4. So we might initially think, oh, are we coming across to here? But no, we're actually starting with the 7 multiplied by the 4. So I'm going to show you that here by saying that this line here is going to show us 7 times 4. Remember, this is not compact short multiplication, but this is to show us what this means. Okay, so 7 times 4 here, we should hopefully all be screaming out that that's 28. Okay, so in this case, I'm just writing this in like this so that we can see how this works before it goes to there. This second line here, I'm going to show you what happens as we come along. So we're now coming along to what's the tens column, and it's in blue here. So I'm going to swap my pen to blue. And a lot of people would initially think, well, that's 3 times 4. It's not 3 times 4. This 3, because it's in the tens column there, represents 30. Okay, so this is 30 multiplied by 4. Okay, 30 times 4, which in this case, and again, you might be thinking, oh, well, he's just doing those lightning quick. But again, if you're struggling with these skills and this place value understanding, take a step back, okay? And some people will be able to explain to you that here we would see the fact of 3 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 10. Okay, be careful to just say throw a 0 on the end, because that won't work when it comes to decimals. But here we would say 3 times 4 times 10 would give you 120. Again, you can work on that if you need to. So then on this final line, we're looking at the 6 again. It's not 6 times 4 or 60 times 4, but because it's in the hundreds, it's 600 multiplied by 4. So 600 multiplied by 4 in this case would take us right along to 2,400. Okay, and then on the bottom line here, just to show our understanding of what we're about to do, is that we've got, finally, if we add together 7 times 4, 30 times 4, 600 times 4, then we'll end up with the answer to 637 times 4. So let's see if that works. So we've got 8 add 0 would be 8. We've then got 2 add 2 add 0 would be 4. We've got 1 add 4 being 5, and then we've got 2 add nothing else. Remember, if you're struggling with any of these, you can always put placeholders in if you don't like the gaps. Okay, I don't tend to like the gaps either. But 2 add 0 is going to be 2. So I'm hoping that when we go across to this one, we end up with an answer of 2,548 to this calculation. Let's give it a go. So this is the compact short multiplication method, whereby we say 7 multiplied by 4. So we're doing what we did there, right? And we're going to work it. We know that it's going to be 28, but in this case, we show the 8 in the ones column, and then our 2, which represents our 20, is coming across into the tens column here. Okay, we're going to need to use that in a moment. So we've then got 7 multiplied, which I've just done. So there's an error from me straight away. So always think as you're going. We've now got 3 multiplied by 4, which is really, remember, 30 multiplied by 4. Okay, but we can treat it like this in this column and say 3 times 4 would be 12. And then adding the 2 here would be 14, okay, within the tens column. It's like 14 tens, it's like saying 140. But again, we've shown our understanding through this method that we know what we're doing, okay. And we've got a little top tip coming in here, a treehouse top tip. And that treehouse top tip is that I actually like to cross these digits off as I've used them, okay, just to show that I know that I've added them on, right? Because otherwise I might have forgotten to add them on, and they're crucial. And when you move on to long multiplication in years 5 and 6, you really need to think about doing that. Okay, so now again, let's see if I make another mistake, but I should be onto my hundreds column here, yeah? So I'm going to multiply the hundreds. I'm going to say 6 times 4, which we know is really 600 times 4, which would be 2,400. In this case, 6 times 4 is 24, plus the 1 here in the hundreds column is 25, okay? So I've used that one up there, and then essentially what we're saying here, some of you might have just put the 2 straight into there, but actually we're kind of saying, well, 4 times 0, we've got nothing in the thousands column, will be 0, plus that 2 there will be 2, 5, 4, 8, okay? So I've managed to show that by 2 different methods, I've got the answer of 2,548. So I'm just going to do a quick VAR check on that one. We'll just check that that's coming through correctly. Took a while that check, but yes, it is absolutely right. So we can say that we have mastered short multiplication. Off you go and give it a go yourself.